Hello, I'm Sussy Gussie, and today I'm going to be telling you about Beyblade Metal Fusion and why you should watch it. But major spoiler warning, watch it if you think you'll be interested, but for those of you who are skeptical or new to Beyblade, allow me to introduce you to the Beyblade Metal Fusion. So I recently been rewatching the Beyblade Metal Fight series because of the TikToks, and you've probably seen the memes about it. These memes are all over TikTok, making fun of how it's not that serious, but I'm here to tell you that it really was that serious. Ever since I was a kid, I fell in love with Beyblade. It was so intense, and the base looked so cool spinning, and with their powers and amazing visuals of the Bey themselves, along with them being tied in with stars and constellations, I was sold. I wanted to share that with you and the amazing and cool world of the Beyblade Metal Fight series. So Beyblade, in case you don't know, is about spinning tops that battle each other. It's pretty cool, but the show takes it to a whole nother level. They are magical and have powers. Some have spirits of constellation, like Space 2. They are owned by bladers and are used in sports for fun. The first season of the Metal Fight series is about a strong blader named Jinka Hagane and his Beyblade Storm Pegasus. Jinka is from Koma Village, also known as the Beyblade Village, because of the people's love for Beyblade and its history about the origin of Beyblade. Jinka's dad is the village's #1 blader, and his Beyblade at the time is Storm Pegasus. He knows that he has to prepare his son Jinka to use Pegasus because he will be a good partner for it. It's around this time where a secret organization known as the Dark Nebula executes their plan to steal a forbidden Bey known as El Drago, a Beyblade so powerful that it had to be sealed away and guarded on Mount Hagane. The man in charge of this operation is Doji, a sadistic and arrogant businessman who wants to rule the world. He uses a boy named Ryuga to be the one to use El Drago and control its power for evil. Jinka's dad, Ryo, valiantly battles Ryuga and El Drago, but they prove to be too powerful, and their collisions cause the cave to collapse, leaving Ryo for dead. But not before he launches Pegasus one last time to his son, who is watching it all happen, and as his final words for Jinka, he reminds him that Beyblade is about fun and that he shouldn't let them use El Drago for evil. He tells him that the thing that decides a battle is the blader spirit. Jinka receives Pegasus and watches the rumble as he sees his dad smile. Jinka escapes outside and cries as his father's words linger in his head and as he stares at Pegasus. Now you're probably thinking, wow, this is pretty tragic for a show about spinning tops that hit each other. However, not all episodes are this dark, but at the same time, as a kid, I thought that this was kind of sad, and I was so immersed in Jinka's journey and what would happen in the end. Now keep in mind, this isn't the beginning of the show, it's just a timeline of events. Fast forward a little bit, and we see Jinka in a new town, where he meets a handful of bladers, Kenta, Benkei, Kiyoya, Hikaru, Tetsuya, and Madoka, who he befriends through Beyblade. He spends time there battling with the residents, and also defeating bladers who were sent to defeat him by a Dark Nebula. It's at this point where Doji takes one of the bladers, Kiyoya, and makes him go mad, driving his bloodlust for defeating Jinka. Where yes, he does start seeing hallucinations of Jinka, but this won't be the only time we see people go insane. Anyways, Kiyoya makes an appearance to defeat Jinka, but loses. And now, Jinka and his friends go after Doji, and they meet him in his castle. Doji tries to get Jinka to work with him to reawaken Ryuga. Jinka is angry at this remark and refuses, but what he doesn't know is that through battling to prevent El Drago from being awakened, he accidentally reawakens the deadly duo, and they battle it out. Ryuga comes out on top after ridiculing Jinka about his dead dad, but not after he destroys Jinka's confidence, which causes him to return home so that he can rebuild his shattered pride. I'm going to pause real quick to mention a pretty wholesome moment. So in the episode, Jinka travels up the icy mountain to find answers to regain his confidence. He struggles going up, but with the help of Pegasus, he makes it to the top, where he finds the treasure from a legendary blader. Inside the treasure chest was a scroll left by the legendary blader. As Jinka reads it, he sees the name and recognizes the handwriting. The legendary blader is in fact Ryo. In the scroll is some very touching words of advice that he leaves for his son. He knew that his son would come across tough battles and eventually lose an important one. He gives him great advice, a father helping out his kid in times of hardship.
There is nothing wrong with you wanting to win. But Beyblade isn't only about winning, Jenga. A blader's worth is measured by what he does after he loses.
These words are very inspiring and touching, and can be used to help you when you are feeling down or just losing confidence. With the help of his friends and his dad, Jinka feels better and returns with a gang, in which they head off to the annual Beyblade Fortnite 1000 Bladers Battle Royale. This will be their first encounter with a talented blader named Yu, a nice boy who has fun with Beyblading, and through his victory, he gets his wish granted in the form of a 1v1 nationwide competition known as the Battle Bladers to determine who is the best blader in Japan. As everyone is excited about this announcement, Doji makes a sudden appearance and announces that Battle Bladers is his idea and that he's a sponsor, and it is also revealed that Yu is actually a member of the Dark Nebula. Their true goal for Battle Bladers is for El Drago to become the country's strongest Bey, in which at that point, they will use the awesome power hidden within El Drago to achieve the Dark Nebula's ultimate goal. Now you might be wondering, what's so special about El Drago? Well, there is a reason why it's called the Forbidden Bey. 1. It spins in reverse rotation, otherwise known as counterclockwise. Now, normally, 99% of bays spin in a clockwise rotation, but if a counterclockwise bay and a clockwise bay interact with each other, then the power they generate becomes too much to handle. 2. El Drago has 2 modes, and when it switches modes, it can be released in its dark move, the Dragon Emperor's Soaring Bite Strike, which is a very powerful move and can and will knock other bladers unconscious. And lastly, 3rd, let me tell you a tale of old, the origins of Beyblade. Long ago, a star fell from the sky, and from that star came the creation of Beyblade. One piece of the star was taken and created by evil and greedy people. This became El Drago, which caused tons of destruction, and with its power, anyone can control this world. This dark energy that El Drago has absorbs life from people and bays and uses that power to become even more powerful. And this is why the Dark Nebula created Battle Bladers, basically fattening up bladers in their bays so that El Drago can absorb their energy to become the most powerful blader in existence. Jinka and his friends realize this, but this tournament is a blader's dream, so they all agree that the next time they see each other will be at Battle Bladers. They have one last battle as friends before they all head out on their own. Over the 3 months, each of the friends compete in friendly tournaments to reach the 50,000 points needed to enter the Battle Bladers. As they are competing, they meet tons of very powerful bladers, some who are or will be part of the Dark Nebula. Among these bladers is one who is very interesting, Tsubasa. Tsubasa is a mysterious guy. He knows who Jinka is and even claims that he knows his true goal. He is shown as a pretty powerful blader who gives Jinka some advice that ends up helping him in defeating Tsubasa and his Earth Eagle. Jinka then realizes that Tsubasa wasn't going all out, and when he confronts him about it, he denies it. Later, we see Tsubasa scope out a Dark Nebula member and goes to their hideout to be recruited. As things are going smoothly for Jinka, he meets a mysterious blader named Phoenix, and in their battle, Jinka ends up losing not just the match, but all of his Bey points. Not only does he have to start from 0, but he's also running out of time. It's during this time where he learns a new special move, Pegasus Stormbringer, which adds to his arsenal of powerful moves. We go back to Tsubasa, and we see him sneaking around the Dark Nebula HQ, trying to get information about El Drago so that he can beat it. He's spotted, but gets saved by Phoenix. Phoenix then tells Tsubasa that Jinka is the only one that can defeat Ryuga because of his ability to grow stronger because of his friends. Jinka does eventually get his points to 47,000, and as he defeats Phoenix in a rematch, Jinka gets his points back, and it is well over 50,000 points, which means that he qualified to enter the Battle Bladers tournament. The matchups are rigged so that Team Jinka goes up against Dark Nebula members. Kenta, Kiyoya, Benkei, Tsubasa, and Rudero win their matches respectfully. Jinka also wins his match against Yu, and as Yu loses, he's inspired by Jinka's spirit, and they all become friends. We all get introduced to a new character named Reggie. We see him battle against Hiyoma, where during their match, He brutally destroys Hyoma's rock Ares and his spirit while he laughs at his sorrow, leaving the calm, cool Hyoma into a broken down mess. Later, we see Ryuga versus Hikaru, which ends up going pretty bad for Hikaru, leaving her in a coma while destroying half of the stadium. The Dark Nebula members who lost were fed to Ryuga, leaving them the same as Hikaru. As Yu sees this, he has regrets about being with the Dark Nebula, but it's too late. He's forced to battle Reggie, and as Libra is about to be completely destroyed by Reggie's poison serpent, it manages to pull off an Inferno Blast, which lets Yu escape to Jinka and his friends. The next battles are Jinka versus Ruguru, which in my opinion is a pretty cool character and could have been used for more, but that aside, he loses, and the battle between Kenta and Reggie goes as expected as well. He destroys Sagittario little by little, destroying Kenta's base spirit in the process, and Jinka had to step in to save him. Next is Tsubasa's battle versus Ryuga, and right off the bat, Tsubasa puts his plan into action. By running away and striking El Drago right as he's about to use his dark move, he prevents El Drago from using his dark move, and for a brief moment, we see El Drago wobble for the first time, which is a pretty big deal because Ryuga and El Drago are complete menaces, and so powerful that it would take a miracle to defeat them. Tsubasa takes his opportunity and deals a barrage of counterattacks. As he's about to finish El Drago off, it uses its dark energy to trap Eagle and unleash its dark move again, hitting Eagle and Tsubasa head-on, leaving Tsubasa in a coma as well. Before the semifinals, Yu is kidnapped by the Dark Nebula, and Kenta and Hyoma go after them to save Yu, but they don't tell Jinka because he knew that he would help them instead of battling. They go after the Dark Nebula's headquarters to look for Yu. At the same time, Jinka is battling Reggie, where Poison Serpent's real power, or fangs, is revealed because of its spin trend. The battles before, he wasn't using its full strength because of its defensive spin trend, but now, Pegasus is getting backed into a corner. In the meantime, Kenta and Hyoma have been stopped by the Dark Nebula's guards, and because of his battle with Reggie, Kenta's Sagittario is left broken. And let me say that Kenta is an absolute genius in which he uses a Bey that was fired by one of the henchmen as his Bey. But of course it's not as powerful, but it still uses it kinda like ammo. He goes ahead to find Yu, and Hyoma stays back. Kenta runs into Toji and battles him. But without his real Bey, Kenta stands no chance. As Doji launches his Dark Wolf at Kenta, side note, holy balls, he was trying to kill Kenta. Hyoma comes in saving Kenta, but with him and his Ares in bad condition, he struggles fighting Doji. But Kenta sends his beat up Sagittario, leaves a bit of metal in between Doji's Dark Wolf. Doji uses his special move and defeats the both of them, but then Phoenix arrives and battles Doji. Pegasus and Serpent's battle continues. Serpent acts like Medusa, turning Pegasus and Jinka into stone. But Jinka's determination breaks through the Serpent's poison and beats Reggie. After their battle, Jinka and Madoka go after the others to help. But during this, Phoenix's burning fire blaze recovers its energy, and with the help of Sagittarius' piece stuck in Wolf, it splits in half and Doji is defeated. However, the chandelier falls and they all dodge him, but a piece cuts Phoenix's mask, revealing that he was real in disguise this whole time. Jinka was mad, as one would be, that his dad kept this a secret from him the whole time. He runs him crying, calling to his father. Ryo had a reason why he had to do this, and he explains what happened and why he chose to stay in hiding. He explains that in order to make sure that El Drago would be defeated, he had to get Jinka to be motivated and go on his journey to get stronger. Ryo chose to become Phoenix so that he could help out the gang and create an obstacle for Jinka so that he could become more stronger. After this, Kyoya has his battle with Ryuga, and they both duke it out within the stadium. Ryuga gets taunted into using his own strength against Kyoya, and they have one of the most fiercest and intense battle ever. Both El Drago and Leon attack each other with everything they have. Blow after blow, the battle is close, but El Drago takes control of Ryuga and unleashes its dark energy. Kyoya gets ready to use all of his and Leon's energy for one final attack. It collides with El Drago, the smoke covering what happens, and Jinka and the gang rush to see if Kyoya is okay. As the smoke clears, you see Kyoya, unconscious and impaled by El Drago. The gang retrieves Kyoya's body and made up for one final pep talk with Jinka. Jinka realizes that everybody got hurt because he dragged them into this. so he decides to go to battle Ryuga without telling his friends. Jinka meets up with Ryuga, and a stadium appears from the ground. They ready their bays. In the final battle, the Battle Bladers begin. Right off the bat, the two bays colliding create immense power, and Jinka uses both of his special moves. As they battle, all of Pegasus' power has been absorbed by Lightning Eldrago, and his hopes seem lost. Jinka's friends appear and cheer him on, clearing his head and giving him more strength. As a result, Pegasus regains its power and starts to retaliate against Eldrago. Eldrago uses its dark move, but Jinka meets it and knocks Eldrago back. But as Jinka is about to get ready to finish Eldrago off, Eldrago uses its dark energy to control Ryuga. As Ryo explains, no one could control Eldrago because of its dark aura, and were destroyed. And through its battles, through Battle Bladers, Eldrago has become too powerful. It became like this because of the evil humans who took the star fragment and corrupted it. The battle continues, and Pegasus is backed into a corner. Eldrago unleashes more of its dark power and uses its dark move on Pegasus. Just as it seems that Pegasus and Jinka has lost, the spirits of Hikaru, Tsubasa, and Kiyoya all appear in front of him, protecting him from the deadly blast. They leave him a message and give him their energy. Jinka realizes what they're trying to tell him and deduces that he needs to save Ryuga. Pegasus and Eldrago begin to battle again, using all their power in a fierce series of clashes. Then, they both unleash their final moves. As their battle reaches towards the heavens, Eldrago uses its Dragon Emperor Soaring Destruction, and Pegasus uses its Galaxy Nova. They both come hurling down, and in the explosion, Eldrago is defeated once and for all, and everyone's spirits gets returned to their bodies. Jinka rides Pegasus, and they save Ryuga from the fall. Later, DJ announces that Jinka wins the Battle Bladers tournament. As Jinka goes towards his Pegasus, it disappears. Ryo explains that Pegasus used up all of its energy, and it had to rest its wings and return one day. They'll have one last countdown, and the show comes to an end. Now don't leave just yet. I want to talk about the other elements that make Beyblade so good. Not gonna lie, rewatching this again, I still get surprised and the chills watching the stakes get so high just immerse me in the story. There are many moments that just are kind of funny and lighthearted. However, the story is very interesting when you think about it. What were the origins of Dark Nebulas and its leader? Why did they know so much about the power of the babies? All will be answered later. The music you hear throughout the whole series is just so amazing. There's your average slice of life music, which fits in what the characters are doing, and just to fill up the atmosphere with a sense of adventure. It makes the show feel cozy, but then there's the times that things get serious, and the music is just perfect for setting this. It's intense and somewhat gloomy mood when the heroes meet trouble, and in the intense battles, there's this feeling you get when you hear the choir and all of the instruments getting louder and louder, like you're facing God, but there's this feeling of hope you get when the hero's theme plays, and you just get so pumped. The show, they like to explain most of the moves used in the show with some science, and most of it actually can make sense, but to an extreme. Like how Pegasus' Stormbringer ability is just Pegasus going so fast that the friction from its performance tip causes it to be so hot that the flames it creates causes an updraft which makes a vacuum. The visuals and animation in the show creates a life into the Beyblades. They feel real and they look so vibrant. Also, they drew all the animals / base spirits so beautifully and real. The bays look textured and very well detailed in their close-ups too. I also really like the character designs, as they were very original. I also like the characters themselves, some more than others, but they all felt like they fit in, and it was very entertaining to see them interact with each other. Even the mysterious Ryuga is very interesting, and he's a character that deserves justice. Now combine all that together, and you see why my ADHD kid self was glued to the TV. So I really hope that I convince you that Beyblade is a show that you should watch. I'll make a part 2 for the other series, and if you liked it, please make sure to like and subscribe. It means a lot. That's all for me. See you guys later.